As a youth worker, a youth researcher and a youth policy advisor, I spend a lot of my life thinking about the place of non-formal education and learning in the sort of repertoire of opportunities available to young people. When we talk about the history of non-formal education and learning, we're talking about a gradual but steady process and evolution from an education that was delivered largely by wise teachers standing at the front of a classroom in a school or a college or a university and filling the empty heads of young people with knowledge and skills. In the latter part of that 19th century and in most of the 20th century, we had the rise of youth organisations and the opportunity for young people to have different kinds of experiences, and this was often known as informal education or informal learning. However, gradually as time went on, we started to think about people learning accidentally and people learning more purposefully but outside of formal education, and we started to position something in the middle known as non-formal education and learning. And today we now live in a world where we talk much more about putting the learner at the centre. We've had a growing understanding theoretically of the kinds of ways in which people learn and coupled with the wider diversity of provision available to young people and the sort of experiences that maximise and optimise young people learning. And we've had growing partnerships and collaboration between traditional formal learning educational institutions such as schools and youth organisations like the Scouts or religious youth organisations and others, in the interests of youth development that helps young people to become more equipped for social, personal and occupational lives. Now, I think the beauty of non-formal education and learning as a concept is that it can move in two directions. That we have the formal educational institutions which increasingly have started to think more about putting the learner more centrally in the learning process, but the educator still remains kind of in pole position. And conversely, we've had young people having a range of accidental, experimental learning experiences where the non-formal educator can help those young people to maximise the understanding from those informal learning experiences. That is non-formal education and learning where the learner is more at the centre than the educator, but the reflection that the educator enables the learner to engage in is the way that learning is maximised. We stand in the second 20 years of the 21st century with a great opportunity to position non-formal education and learning in that important place. The challenges are going to be the quality of the experiences that we offer throughout the world, the recognition of non-formal education and learning by politicians and by funders, and ultimately the major concern is that we find ways of accrediting that learning that takes place outside of the classroom so that it increasingly carries parity of esteem with formal educational qualifications. Thank you.